So here's your order of service, so you know when to come in.
Good to see you.
Buenos días. Good morning. Bienvenidos a este domingo cuando celebramos el desarrollo de fe en esta congregación. Welcome to this Sunday when we celebrate faith development or faith formation here at UU Asheville. Queremos que sepan, we want you to know que quien quiera que seas, whoever you are, a quien quiera que ames, whoever you love, cualquiera su teología, whatever your theology, de donde quiera que venga, wherever you come from, usted es valioso e digne de amor. You are valuable and worthy of love. Bienvenidos a nuestro servicio esta mañana. Welcome to our service this morning. And I offer us, as we start, a call to worship that is adapted from the words of Jules Jaramillo. This morning, we gather together to worship as a community of all ages, to honor our graduates, to thank our religious exploration volunteers, to sing, to reflect, and maybe even to clap and dance. Let us take a moment to look around at those of us sharing this sacred space, because this space is made sacred by your presence this morning. Let us recognize the hearts of our whole community, from our elders to our youngest and all ages in between. Let us embody the beauty of this whole community. And even when there are more wiggles and giggles and chatter, let us remind ourselves to listen carefully, to be present, and to be open to the gifts that are brought before us this morning. So let us begin by calming our bodies and our minds, and let us breathe in peace and joy into this sacred space and take 3 breaths together. And now let us receive the gift of our opening music.
fire of love. Love is a never-ending candle flame, its fire always burning. Sometimes it may grow so small you may not even realize it's there, but it is. Sometimes it grows big and hot and it burns, but the best time is when you care for it, giving you what you need. Then it is warm, not too hot, not an ember. You can feel it inside you, urging you on. That is when love is strongest.
Thank you. And now let us rise in body or spirit and sing together. In English first and then in Spanish. And now is the time for our wisdom story. And this is a story that is written by Tricia Elam Walker and illustrated by Akua Holmes. So the title of our story is Dream Street, and the authors tell us that Dream Street is the best street in the world. Here, everyone is special, and children believe that their dreams can come true. So let's meet some of those children. So this is Yusuf, and he waits for his brother Biko, thinking about what his mom always says: don't leave the house without your crown. She tells them stories about their ancestors who were queens and kings with dreams they never gave up on. And this is Mr. Sidney, who is dressed to the nines. Do you know what that means, to be dressed to the nines? No? To be dressed really, really fancy. So he is dressed to the nines, and one of the things that he says to the children when he greets them is, don't wait to have a great day. Create one. And this is Belle, who catches, what do you think? What do you think Belle catches? Butterflies. And then she lets them go because she says, everything has a right to be free. She wants to be a lepidopterist when she grows up. Do you know what that is? A lepidopterist? It's a person who studies, I heard, butterflies. So that's what she wants to be when she grows up. And this is Azara, who lives next to the park, and she loves to jump rope and play double dutch. How many of you have ever jumped rope? Okay. How many of you have ever jumped double dutch? Does everybody know what double dutch is? I see some of the kids saying no. So when you're jumping rope, when you're jumping rope, usually if you're jumping with friends, one person holds the string, the rope, right? And then when you double dutch, you have two ropes. Do some double dutch. Right. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, I grew up in the Bronx, and we used to play out in the street and jump double dutch, but I never quite got good at it. But Azaria is really good, and she wants to one day get a trophy for being such a good double dutch jumper. And next is Miss Sarah, who is also known as, what do you think from the picture?
The flower lady?
The flower lady or the hat lady. And she is Belle's great auntie. She is a storyteller and has lived in the neighborhood longer than anyone, maybe even longer than some of the trees. She has watched the children grow up, and she has listened to their dreams. And next is Zion. And what is Zion doing? He is reading, and he's reading about baseball. And what do you think Zion wants to be when he grows up? There are a lot of options here. A baseball player. A baseball player. He wants to be a librarian. That's what he wants to be when he grows up. And next are two cousins, Edie and Terry. And Edie, on the far side, loves to collect things. She collects rocks, she collects feathers, she collects stones. And Terry likes to draw, and she likes to write stories about the people she knows. And these cousins would like to create a picture book together about everyone they know and they meet on Dream Street. And next, we have 5 boys, all dressed up to the nines, and all of them are named after famous jazz musicians. I'll say the names slowly, and after service, if you want to check your guesses, I'll share the answers with you. So they are Dudley, Donald, DiNardo, Dexter, and Duke, all named after jazz musicians, and their father dreams that one day they will be part of his jazz band. And the next person that lives on Dream Street is Deza, who's hanging out with her little granddaughter, and they love to spend time together in Deza's garden, and sometimes they fall asleep together in the garden. And then our next person is Miss Paula, who loved to twirl on her tippy toes and up and down Dream Street when she was a kid, and now she teaches African dance in the community center. And finally, there is little Benjamin, who lives in the purple house next to the park and is tucked snugly in bed, and I don't know if you can see his teddy bear, but his ears are right there. And both of them are sitting there, and neither one of them is sleepy. They are counting the stars, and they are listening outside to all the kids outside laughing and playing, and they just can't wait to grow up and be big kids so they can be outside playing too. So these are some of the people and some of the children who live and play on Dream Street. And they believe they can become whatever and whoever they want because their dreams are nourished and cared for. So before I share a few wondering questions, I just wanted to share some notes about the artists. Trisha and Ekwa are Eddie and Terry in the book, and their story is based on their neighborhood home in Roxbury, Massachusetts, and the friends and family that supported and inspired them. Their dreams of being a visual artist and a writer came true. So I wonder, especially today when we're having a bridging ceremony, I wonder what your dreams are. Right? Because we are never too old to dream. I wonder what children do in your neighborhood. And I wonder how our community here at UU Asheville is similar to Dream Street. Do we nurture dreams Do we welcome stories? Are we present to each other? So many questions and so many wonderings. Thank you for listening to our story this morning.
Good morning. I'm Kim Collins. I'm one of the religious educators here, and we are going to do a little body prayer. So we've got a little extra room in here today, which is good. So why don't we, if you have room, you can spread out a little bit. I want everybody to participate in a way that feels good to you. You can stand up if you want to. You don't have to, but we're gonna do a little movement. So make yourself into a tight ball. Yes, you can totally sit for this, it's fine. But if you need to get up, now is a good time. Make yourself into a tight ball, close your eyes, and imagine that you are a small acorn. You are the seed of the mighty oak tree. I wonder how you were planted in the soil. Maybe a farmer or a squirrel put you there. Now that you are in the soil, you need a few things to grow. I see rain clouds gathering. Feel the gentle rain as it comes to quench your thirst. And if anybody wants to make some rain noises, we can make some rain noises. Now, your roots are going deeper and anchoring you in the soil. You need some sunshine to keep growing. Turn your face up to the sun. We have some bright lights in here. And feel its rays warming the soil all around you. You are beginning to sprout. Slowly and gradually begin to straighten your legs. The sunlight is shining down on you, and you have lots of water and nutrients in the soil that are helping you grow even taller. Continue to slowly stand up or sit up with your arms by your side. There's more sun. Don't put them up yet. We're getting there. We're getting there. It's okay. Nobody has to be perfect. I'm not grading this. There's more sun and more rain, and now your branches are growing as you stretch your arms out one at a time. And now, unfurl your leaves by opening your hands and gently wiggling your fingers. You are now a small tree or sapling. As you continue to grow, raise your arms up high in the air toward the sun. Now you are a fully grown tree. In the spring, you will have flowers. In the fall, you will have acorns. And you will live a long life, providing a home for birds, food for insects and squirrels, and oxygen for people. Listen to the bird song. Tweet, 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 tweet. Make some bird noises. Feel the squirrels tickling your bark as they run up and down your strong trunk. Breathe out your oxygen for people and use the carbon dioxide the people provide for you. A storm is coming. Your branches shake and blow in the wind, but your roots keep you anchored. After many storms and many seasons, you're growing old. You may even lose the top of your tree. Slowly hang your head down as you begin to lose branches to disease and storms. Slowly bring your arms down to your sides again. Eventually, you really don't have to do this part, you will fall to the ground. You probably sit down now. Return to your seat now as you become a log lying on the forest floor. What might happen next? If the conditions are right, if there is enough sun and rain and soil, a new tree will grow in your place from a seed or nut carried by the wind, or a bird, or a squirrel. And the cycle begins again. Open your eyes and leave the forest and come back to this place. And let us share a moment of silence.
So all of you made wonderful trees. It was so lovely to see all of you with your hands raised and following along in that embodied prayer. Thank you for your participation, and thank you, Kim, for leading that for us. And as part of our reflection and prayer and meditation, we bring to the forefront any joys or sorrows that we carry in our hearts. And so we will engage in our ritual of stones and water, and we will add salt to the water to represent those sorrows that are in our hearts, that are in our community, and the sorrows that are in the world. And we will also add petals to the water, because alongside the sorrows in our lives, there is also so much beauty and so much to celebrate: birthdays, graduations, and so on and so forth. And so I invite you, as part of our ritual, to come forward and take a stone for any sorrow and or joy that is in your heart. You can take more than one. And if you would like me to add a stone for you in the water, just raise your hand and I will do that. Let us begin our ritual. you have placed a stone in the water for a joy in your heart, know that this community rejoices with you. And if you have placed a stone in the water for a sorrow in your heart, know that we hold you in love and care. And I add final stones into the water for those that represent those joys and sorrows, for folks that are online and for folks that are not here, for although we may be apart, our community is always one. So thank you. Now we are going to listen to a few stories from folks in our community.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I had the honor of participating in the OWL program as a facilitator this year. For those who don't know, OWL stands for Our Whole Lives, and it's a comprehensive sexuality curriculum. The specific program that I'm trained in and facilitated was for grades 7 through 9. For the past 9 months, several Sundays a month, 2 facilitators met with a group of 7th to 9th graders to discuss topics ranging from body awareness, puberty and identity, to consent, boundaries, and assertive communication and sexuality. I've participated in OWL as a facilitator 3 times so far, and each time the group started out as wildly uncomfortable and vocal about their reluctance to be there. But over time grew to be engaged and comfortable, but always still focusing on snacks on the side. My hope is that despite the discomfort, the conversations that we have in OWL and the information shared will last a lifetime. I'm thankful for the opportunity to work with the OWL participants and grateful to their families for trusting me and my co-facilitators to help deliver what I consider to be a valuable, life-changing, and life-saving curriculum. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Victoria Hoyland, and my daughter Aster and I have been attending here for nearly 2 years. And I'm here to share a few words about my journey with the RE program. I'll be candid with you. If you had told me a year ago that I would be an RE teacher, I would have laughed heartily. You see, as I'm sure many of you parents can resonate with, when I first started coming here, the hour of worship to just be and not do, to listen to amazing music, absorb inspiring messages while my daughter got to have fun with friends and learn about all things UU in RE. It was bliss and oh so necessary for my well-being. In fact, I was totally that parent who ran down the list of alternative volunteering options to find anything to not have to teach RE. I'm sure there's a few of you out there. And yet in January, we got one of those emails, and all you parents know the ones, where Kim is looking for an assistant because they are missing a second adult in the class. And I thought, how hard could it be to assist? And let me tell you, I'm so glad that I did. These kids, all these kids, they are amazing. It's so much fun to watch them interact with the curriculum, the teachers, each other, to get to know them, hear their thoughts, opinions, and perspectives. And before I knew it, I had joined the 2nd and 3rd grade teaching team. I can confidently say that I have loved it and have somehow found it to be every bit as restorative as the worship services are. And I honestly can't explain why. My logical, introverted brain tells me that leading a group of between 3 to 15 kids in discussions and group activities should be exhausting and should feel like work, no matter how fantastic the kiddos are. But I've found it to be the opposite. Perhaps it's the curriculum. The second and third grade class has had great curriculum. It makes it so easy to teach. I mean, it literally tells me what to say if I need that level of direction and detail, which I do. It has filled every bit of the class time teaching our UU values with engaging and fun stories, activities, games, and discussions. And I can't say enough about how wonderfully supportive Kim has been in making sure that I have all of the supplies and resources and support that I need. Sidebar, how many of you knew that we have dozens of tiny little people figurines and a few tiny little church buildings? Because I needed that one lesson, and I was like, where in the world are we going to find that? And she found it somewhere in the recesses of our supplies. She's amazing. So I guess for any of you who have been tossing around the idea of teaching RE, but you haven't taken the opportunity to try it out, I encourage you to give it a shot. Maybe try assisting in a class or two. See if it's for you. I know that I am really looking forward to it next year, and we are always in need of more helping hands.
Hi, my name is Esther. RE is a really great place for everyone to get to know each other and feel comfortable sharing your feelings. So when you feel bad about something, like your roses or thorns, it kind of helps to share your emotions with others. I've made lots of friends in class. I've also helped my mom with teaching the RE classes, which I've really enjoyed. One day, we were learning about Holi, a very colorful celebration in India, and we got to throw around scarves and watch a video of people celebrating Holi. I really like learning about other cultures and our UU values. The activities and games are really fun to do with the other kids. I really appreciate all the teachers that teach the RE classes because they are very generous to share their time with us.
Now we have special music.
Grandfather and me around Nassau town we do roam, drinking all night, got into a fight. I feel so broke up, I wanna go home. So hoist up the John B. sail, see how the mainsail sits. Call for the captain ashore to let me go home. Let me go home. I wanna go home. I feel so broke up, I wanna go home. The first mate, he got drunk, broke in the captain's trunk. The constable had to come and take him away. Sheriff Johnstone, why won't you leave me alone? I feel so broke up, I wanna go home. Hoist up the John B. sail, see how the mainsail sits. Call for the captain ashore to let me go home. Let me go home. I wanna go home. I feel so broke up. I wanna go home. The poor cook, he caught the fits and threw away all of my grits. And then he took and he ate up all of my corn. Let me go home. I wanna go home. This here's the worst trip I've ever been on. Hoist up the John B. sail. See how the mainsail sits. Call for the captain ashore to let me go home. Let me go home. I wanna go home. I feel so broke up. I wanna go home. Everybody sing with us. Hoist up the Bombay sail. See how the mainsail sets. Call for the captain ashore to let me go home. Let me go home. I wanna go home. I feel so broke up. I wanna go home. I feel so broke up. I wanna go home.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. It's one of my favorite sing out loud in the shower songs, so thank you. You do it better. Well, hi, my name's Wilma Oman, and I am a member of the Faith Exploration team here at UU Asheville. We're a group of people from the congregation that consider programming and support programs that provide adult exploration in our congregation. I like to think of adult faith development as the embodiment of our fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. How lucky we are to be part of a faith that encourages this exploration. Here in our congregation, there are many opportunities to stretch and grow, or just satisfy a curiosity that you may have about a particular faith practice. Some of these programs are continuing and offer a "what is this about?" for seekers, as well as an opportunity for full expression in a spiritual practice that you may identify with. The CUPS program, Covenant of UU Pagans, is one such group. Members of the congregation who identify as pagans celebrate holidays and offer education to those who are seeking. A Buddhist Sangha also meets here and provides the same ongoing opportunity for education and practice around Buddhism. Our Soul Matters program is another continued offering for faith exploration. This is kind of a signature UU program where small groups meet monthly to explore a theme that often reflects a part of our UU values. I'm wondering how many people here today have participated in a Soul Matters group. It's about to wrap up for this season, and we'll begin again with a new theme in the fall. There's also many other programs that are offered as individual explorations. I recently participated in a 4-session exploration of Taoism. It was so good. Perhaps my all-time favorite program was called This Haunting Church, Owning Your Religious Past. I can't say enough about this program. It's fair to say that many, but not all of us, have come to this faith from leaving another. Oftentimes, there's a fair amount of baggage that goes with that leaving. For many, a lot of hurt, and for some, even trauma. Haunting Church was a small group program that encouraged reflection of your spiritual past, possibly the haunting part, and to ponder what might have been of value that you can bring with you as a UU. I learned so much through other people's stories. I remember hearing from people who felt shamed in their faith around their sexuality, but yet they learned compassion and love from the church organist. They brought the compassion and love part with them as they laid the shame down. For myself, I learned that the seeds of identifying as a feminist were tucked into time spent in an all-girls Catholic school with some progressive nuns. My yearning for justice and work for what's involved with that had its roots there too. Those nuggets have a place in my UU identity now. It was so therapeutic. I believe that program may be offered again in the fall. I'm looking to Reverend Claudia here. So I invite you to consider that for sure.
Good morning. I'm Jen Johnson, one of your religious educators, along with Kim Collins. And now comes the moment in our service when we honor our graduating high school seniors who are crossing the bridge from childhood to young adulthood. Bridging is a UU ritual marking the significant time in life when our emerging adults open doors for new experiences and a greater understanding of their faith. It is a time when many young adults leave their family homes and move off to college, employment, military service, or another adventure. In making that transition, some also leave the company of this UU Asheville community for stretches of time. Bridging is important, not only in the life of the individual, but also in the life of the whole family and in this community. This is a rite of passage, and like a child's dedication or coming of age, it reminds us that we are in this community together with UUs of all ages, and all have place and value here. It is a call to us in the older generations to recognize and to commit to the young people who bring a vibrancy to this place and our world.
Good morning. The last time I spoke into a microphone in the UU Asheville Sanctuary, I introduced myself as Sylvester McMonkey McBean. I was wearing a teal-green shirt with a pink bow tie, and I proceeded to antagonize some Sneetches. I encourage you to watch the February 25th service in the archives if you wish to confirm the veracity of this statement. My actual name is Langdon Martin, and I am here not to apologize for my actions as Mr. McBean, which were admittedly completely out of line with UU principles, but rather to celebrate 4 of the teens who persuaded me to dress up in that costume and get out a little bit out of my normal comfort zone of quiet, mild-mannered adult figure. These 4 soon-to-be high school graduates are Axe Waddell, Katie Johnson, Emma Butts, and Bella Bennett Murphy. It is truly an honor, albeit a bittersweet one, to help now facilitate this bridging ceremony for them. I've gotten to know and deeply respect and care for each of them over my past 3+ years as YRUU facilitator. Working with our youth is a reminder that it's not the curriculum that matters, it's the people and the time together. The unofficial motto of YRUU, Young Religious Unitarian Universalists, which we adapted from the UNC Chapel Hill's campus ministry, is always a chalice, always a check-in. I'm going to miss checking in with all 4 of them. The slides you will see momentarily are wonderful snapshots of these young adults. I will miss Bella's critiques and covers of the pop music scene and hearing about Emma's latest knitting or outdoor trip, Axe's tech work or kayaking adventures, and Katie's latest accolades as a runner. We have grown together in our regular meetings here on the UU campus, in trips and outings and retreats at the mountain. I will echo Victoria and make a shameless plug for being an RE collaborator next year. So yes, if this sounds like a rewarding way to be part of the UU Asheville community, please know that you should sign up. Side effects may include spiritual growth or being asked to wear a teal shirt with a pink bow tie during a service that gets recorded and put on YouTube. I close with my favorite quotation about teaching and mentoring from a New York Times op-ed written in 2009 by Mark C. Taylor, which reads, "Do not do what I do. Rather, take whatever I have to offer and do with it what I could never imagine doing, and then come back and tell me about it." So Katie, Axe, Bella, and Emma, that is my charge to you bridging seniors. I hope that you have been able to laugh at my antics and learn from some of my advice and mistakes. You have many adventures ahead. I wish you all the best on them, and I really do hope that you will come back and tell me about them some years from now. Now, we invite Axe, Bella, and Katie to come forward with your families to be honored. Emma is not able to be with us in person today, but we honor them as well. Bridgers. This ceremony continues a circle of sorts. When children are dedicated in this congregation, they receive a rose as a symbol of the unfolding life before them. That rose symbolizes the shelter of this community, our promise to receive our young ones here with loving arms and to guide them with compassion and respect. Before giving it to children, we make a point of removing thorns from the roses. As a symbol of the bridging process, we again give a rose, as before, in honor of the strength, grace, and possibility that you have shown in your lives so far. But this time, we leave the thorns on. They remind you that life as an adult can be prickly at times, and it is also beautiful. Your mentor or advisor will now give you each a thorny rose and a gift. We have confidence you will be able to navigate those thorns of life. And we also remind you that we all need support at times. Just like your coming-of-age mentors, YRUU advisors, and other adults who have accompanied you on your journey thus far, this place and these people in our UU congregation offer an anchor for you. In turn, your presence and gifts offer this community a buoy. We are mutually blessed and hope you continue your connection with us. Whether your journey takes you far away or you stay nearby, you always have a religious home here at UU Asheville. The second gift we have given you is a book, Becoming, a Spiritual Guide for Navigating Adulthood. May this travel with you so you can remember and call upon your faith wherever you are. We hope that you will seek out a UU home wherever your path leads. Now we invite you to cross the metaphorical bridge into young adulthood and return to your seats. We send you off with love. Congregation, please welcome them in their new role.
Bridgers, congratulations and welcome back to this UU community in a new way. As emerging adults, thank you for sharing your presence and gifts with us. This faith tradition and the things you have explored here have shaped and blessed you in ways that you will recognize more and more as you mature. Being raised as a UU is a special privilege in a world that tries to tell us what to think or who to be. In this community, you have developed connections not only with friends and those who have loved and nurtured you, but also with ideas and beliefs that will continue to guide you into being strong, compassionate, wise, generous, and spiritually grounded adults. This congregation has shared in raising you as religious exploration leaders, mentors, advisors, and as friends. We want to thank the congregation, and especially those volunteer collaborators who have nurtured you along your path. We know that the adults who have shared your journey have given their time, energy, and love to you and your family. We also know that they have grown in faith right alongside you. We are grateful for their dedication, and this year I'd just like to recognize Langdon Martin, Margaret McAllister, Chris Sobin, and Joanne Fox for working with our YRUU group, so thank you. And a note that there are many others of you who have been companions to these youth over the years as well. So please lift up your hands and whoop in the air if you are one of those people. A little louder. We thank you, and the congregation thanks you for those who lift up our young people, who see them and welcome them as they are, and who accompany them on their faith journey at all stages of life. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Murphy, and as my youngest Bridges today, I want to share my appreciation to this congregation as my family closes an almost 20-year chapter with RE, and a new chapter begins. After I adopted my two oldest children from Russia in 2004, I began to search for a community church where my kids and I would feel at home. We visited here one Sunday, and it felt pretty perfect. So I signed some papers, and my kids joined the RE classes, and in that moment, unbeknownst to you, we entered our parenting relationship together. Fast forward to today, and Nick, Sophie, and Bella have all attended childcare, RE classes, OWL, Coming of Age, YRUU, and as of today, Bridging. We're an eclectic group with a wide variety of needs and interests, struggles, and gifts. We rarely fit the one-size-fits-all mold. My middle child has several diagnoses, more than you can count on one hand, and there were times when we had to ask for a different path to be created in long-running programs here so that she could participate. Even cleaning the kitchen here was almost a problem once because it was easier for her to open all the cabinets and the drawers than to read the labels. So a parent came in and questioned her as to what she was doing, but after I explained, they understood. This was just the easiest, fastest way for her to unload the dishwasher. In a world where it's standard to other people and make them feel different or not part of the group, here, the others can find a place. As my daughter grew up, she got used to not participating in things out in the world, but in this space, we constantly heard, "That's a fine way to complete that task. How can we help? What would make this accessible? You tell me and we'll do it." And my youngest, who is bridging today, well, I couldn't have asked for a more beautiful experience for her than what she had here. I knew I was going to start crying. When Bella bravely decided to start using she, her pronouns, I emailed Jen Johnson and Mark Ward on a Saturday to let them know that Bella was coming to church the very next day in a dress and using her new name. When we walked in, Mark was standing out greeting people, and he looked up at us and just simply said, "Good morning, Bella," and he smiled at the rest of us, and then he just went on his way. How perfect was that? Bella politely said hello back, and she held her head a little higher. I was endlessly grateful. I have revisited that moment 1,000 times since then. What a great way for Bella to enter living her truth. And lastly, I want to share about the time that this congregation sent 15 teenagers, coming-of-age teenagers, to New Orleans. They went to UU conference where Nick sent me a text saying, "The best part of the day, Mom, is the breakfast bar." We sit there for 2 hours or more. I said, "I don't think you're supposed to eat that much hotel food." He said, "We're not eating. We sit there and chat about, first hour is spent on basketball. The second hour is about everything else in life with one of the UU mentors." So he and his friends sat at the breakfast bar chatting with a brave chaperone. On behalf of all the Bridgers and their families, we thank you for the classes, the story times, buying soup, planning field trips, providing space for learning and growing. We are all grateful to you. And for those who weren't involved in those programs, that you show up here week after week, we thank you too. On Sunday mornings, I used to tell my kids, "Hey, let's get dressed and go sit in a room full of people who don't care who we choose to love. They aren't bothered by the fact that we were born in Russia, Guatemala, and Mississippi, and they respect how we identify." And now that Bella is off to college soon, things have come full circle, and it's time for me to start again and be for our youngest UUs what you have been for mine. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for helping a single mom raise 3 non-conforming, independent-thinking adults. What our UU kids experience here is a gift to the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think this sounds a little bit like Dream Street, don't you? And now I want to take a moment and share a blessing written by Janet Bowering. The many names for mother, father, parent. Blessed is the person who feeds and warms, washes and comforts a child and soothes them in illness, for they shall be called caregiver. Blessed is the person who gives shelter and food, clothing, toys, books, and tools, for they shall be called provider. Blessed is the person who opens doors in the child's experience, who explains the puzzling and wonders at the mysterious, for they shall be called teacher. Blessed is the person who shields a child from that which will wither or warp, who protects a child from abuse and exploitation, who guards against bullying and scorn, for they shall be called defender. Blessed is the person who takes time to listen, who is there for a child in the darkness, who is aware of the fears, who speaks the words of encouragement in moments of despair, for they shall be called sustainer. Blessed is the person who guides a child in the search for beauty, who encourages them at what is daunting, who steadies them as they explore new experiences, who fires their aspirations and dreams, for they shall be called inspirer. Blessed are all these persons who help bring an infant along the many paths to maturity, for in them is the future well-being of humanity. Parents, thank you for sharing your children with us. May you courageously let go as they move into adulthood, knowing that this is what you prepared them for, and you have equipped them well for the next chapters of their lives. May you be blessed, and we are deeply grateful for having your children be part of this Dream Street community.
Hi, it's me again. So now we're going to do the work of the congregation. So if we have any visitors here today and you would like to introduce yourself, please stand up and someone will bring you a microphone. It's also okay to pass.
Good morning. My name is Catherine King. Bella is my granddaughter, and it's so good to be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Sally. I'm visiting my friend Joanne Fox, and I'm a member of Shoreline UU in Seattle, Washington.
Welcome. All right. Anybody else? All right. Trevor, where are you? Are you in here? You might not be. Okay. There he is. Hi, there's Trevor. He's our connections coordinator, and he would love to meet you after the service, especially if you have any questions. Sometimes he has snacks. So just so you know. Our announcements run as slides at the beginning of the service. If you miss them, refer to Thursday's weekly e-news, as everything is described there. Please read it. If you don't receive the e-news, ask an usher to show you how to sign up or email us at information@uuasheville.org. And I'm going to give Anna Martin like 30 seconds.
All right. So quick. Raise your hand if you've been to our congregational retreat at the mountain in October. You, was it fun? Was it fun? Okay, so this announcement is actually for everyone who did not raise their hand. So after service, Sandra and some other folks from the planning committee are going to talk to you about what the heck this is. Want to come hang out with people from this congregation in beautiful Highlands, North Carolina in the middle of October? Yeah, you do. So we'll tell you about the cost, scholarships, workshops, how to get there, all of that. So come see us. If it's not raining, I'm seeing sun. Let's have it on the deck just after service outside Sandberg Hall. Bring your ice cream. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Anna. Okay, so we are going to do some more gratitude. And first, I just want to say that I am so thankful for you all for letting me be in your kids' lives. Our seniors who are graduating this year were in like 3rd grade when I started at this congregation, and so I'm having a moment. But at this time, we would like to honor all of the loving adults that have shared their time and talents with our children and youth this year. Their names, look at how many people are up here. Their names are displayed on the screen above. These folks have made it possible for us to offer our terrific religious exploration program. As religious educators, Jen and I are here to support and guide this program, but the real work belongs to this congregation. And these folks have stepped up to show that children and families are important to this congregation. This year alone, they have helped the kids make cinnamon rolls for the congregation, helped some 7-year-olds understand the difference between equality and equity, literally slept on the ground in a tent, and helped kids make self-portraits featuring what they loved about themselves, showed our middle school OWL class how STIs can be spread using M&Ms. And several of them will also be accompanying our youth to Cersei in July. We have had an influx of new families over the last 2 years, and they keep coming back because this community is all in for our children and youth. We will recognize all of our collaborators in attendance by having our children help distribute some flowers. So if you have helped in RE this year, please raise your hand or stand up. And children, I need your help to distribute these flowers. So please come on up and grab a flower and then take it to someone who has their hand raised, please. Okay. Oh, are those kind of stuck? Just, here it goes. Yeah, someone's standing or, hey guys. right. We got some more. She's got one. We still need. Here comes Gavin and Elliot. All right, I still see some adults that need flowers up there. Here we go. Oh my goodness, we're so lucky to have little helpers. Okay. All right, looks like we are all flowered up. So I also want to recognize a couple of other very special people, and that's our childcare staff. Via, can you come here, please? It's okay if they want to cruise up here too.
Do you want to come with me on it?
So, last spring, I found myself with no childcare staff and a big problem. Somehow, the stars aligned, and Via Quinn applied for the job, and it was a match made in UU heaven. Via grew up UU in Massachusetts and is absolutely magical with children. She is invaluable to us. She shows up every Sunday morning with a fun plan and an open heart. She was a tremendous help when I needed to take some time off for mental health in the fall. Oh boy, I know you all are as grateful to her as I am. We were doubly blessed when Phoebe Schropp joined the team in the fall. Phoebe also grew up UU, attending the UU congregation of Charlotte, and had been volunteering and working in childcare there. She's not here today. She attends UNCA and is currently back in Charlotte for the summer, but she will be with us in August. And so I just want to ask that you please join me in welcoming Via to worship and giving her a big round of applause. All right, thank you. Let's see if I can get it together here. We're going to do the offertory now. So I'm going to tell you our community plate recipient this month is Prison Books. You can donate by check, but be sure to write community plate in the memo line. Our plate collection will be split 50-50 with our community plate partner every Sunday. The work and ministries of this congregation are entirely supported by the generosity of our members and friends. We celebrate your generosity each Sunday with music and thanks. You make us possible, and we give thanks for you. The offering will now be gratefully collected. For the gifts of your presence, time, wisdom, and resources, we are grateful. Please rise in body or spirit to sing our final hymn, This Little Light of Mine. We're going to do it in English and Spanish, and the words will be on the screen.
Nuestra celebración no termina. This celebration never ends. May we continue to be a community where all are welcomed, where all are nourished, where we continue to learn together and do the hard work of making the world a better place. And before we close, there are two final gratitudes that must be given. And those gratitudes are for Jen Johnson. And Kim Collins. Because I will never get tired of saying this. I came to this congregation 6 years ago because I wanted to serve a community that was all in for our children and youth. And I have made the right choice, and it wouldn't be possible without our religious educators. We've been through a lot together. There's been challenge, there's been struggle, and there's been joy. And so much programming, and volunteers. So we are indeed a grateful community. We are grateful for our families, for our graduates, and for all of these young people who are moving through our faith formation programs. We couldn't do it without you, and we do this together. So now, as we prepare to close this celebration, I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and remember, this is a blessing. This is a blessing we give each other. Let us bless each other through song. And last but not least, thank you, Les, and thank you, Simon. Okay.